those honors. Yep. Okay. We are recording, everybody. Oh. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see everybody. Happy Friday. My allergies are like.
Join the club.
Yes, we're getting it to Florida this week. Let me move my light so you can see me a little better too. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Connie Jo. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Hannah. Good to see everyone this morning. I'll give everybody, see who we missed. So Faye and Margaret won't be here today. They had prior commitments. And wait for Nancy and Susan. We got a few more minutes. I'll give everybody another minute or two to get logged in on this Friday. Hopefully technology will work today. Mercury is in retrograde. I think you haven't felt that this week. I think Facebook got a big dose of that. So it's so good to see everyone. Happy Friday. If you haven't done so already, do the chat box honors. Look at Debbie's dog. Can you all see Debbie's puppy at the gate? He's like, "Where'd you go, Mom?" That's funny. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, Nancy. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you. Fergus is in the house. Here comes Susan. All right, good. We'll get started. So it is so great to see everybody. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's having a good day, had a good week. I'm thinking of those, if anybody who knows anyone in New Zealand, I'm sending lots of thoughts and love to our Kiwi friends in New Zealand today. And if you could just take them on your own, take your own moment to send them love. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. We're going to get started with our elevator speeches. And then we will move forward into our presentation. We have a special guest today. I cannot wait to hear her presentation. And then we'll finish up with announcements. So I'm going to ask that we try to keep our elevator speeches brief, 30 seconds, because we've been going about 10 or 15 minutes on our elevator speeches. And it cuts into our speakers' time, and I want to make sure we honor our speakers as well. So 30 seconds, if you could get that slid in there, that would be awesome. I don't want to have to time you. I know you all can do that. No, you can do this. So we'll go ahead and get started with Cassandra. Will you start us off?
Wow. Hello. Good morning. My name is Cassandra Marie with SurroundedByEnergy.com. And I am a healer specializing in energy facelifts and body sculpting. So if you would like to brighten up, rejuvenate without any, painful shots, chemicals, I could do this remotely. It's a beautiful, beautiful process. So please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. I'm next in the Brady Bunch. I'm Jill Celeste. If you don't know me, I'm the president of this chapter of Virtual Networkers. I'm also the founder of the Celestial Circle, where we gather to learn marketing and improve our mindset and go out and increase our visibility. I live near Tampa, Florida, and I'm excited to see so many bright and shiny faces this morning. So Merritt, I know you are our speaker, but do you mind doing a quick elevator speech?
Yeah, very quick one. I'm Marit Torkelsson. Hi, everybody. So nice to meet you. Thanks, Hannah, for inviting me as a guest today. I only now would say my passion is people and the human interaction and what does it make. So now I'll come back to that in my speech. So I don't tell you more right now.
Okay. By the way, my aunt, her maiden name is Torkelson.
Oh.
Isn't that funny? I was like, wow. We always called her Aunt Torquay.
Okay, new nickname for me then. Torquay, okay.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. So I've heard of that last name before, which is kind of cool. Judy Kane, you're next.
Okay, I'm muted at the traffic. I'm in the Tampa area of Florida, and my name is Judy Kane, and my business is called Aligned Consciousness, and I help people rewrite subconscious, self-limiting beliefs. And people come to me for three main reasons: either the big emotions that are keeping it difficult to go through days, like grief and trauma and phobias and anxiety or not hitting conscious goals for reasons they don't understand, or for physical symptoms of stress.
Thank you, Judy. We're glad you're here.
Good to be here.
Sharon's here. But you're muted, Sharon.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Sharon Edwards. I, too, am in the Tampa Bay area. I have a company called Platinum International, and I sell toner cartridges for your printers as well as ink cartridges, big or small. I don't care if it's for your home or if I'm doing 15 car dealerships around the country. I do sell nationwide. They're designed to save you time, a ton of cash, and we take 11% of all the proceeds from every cartridge sold, and we buy food and we feed the homeless each month, and that's called Project Pop Drop. I contribute to feeding over 90,000 meals every month to the different homeless shelters in the Bay Area. We also do it every month in the LA area, California, Texas, and in Washington, D.C. So if you know anyone in the United States that wants to print, save money, and feed the homeless at the same time, give me a call.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much for your good work as well. I always say that, but I mean it. Susan Rose, you're next.
Morning, everyone. My name is Susan Rose, and I'm coming to you from overcast Reston, Virginia. But it's nice and warm today, so my windows are open, so that's exciting.
Oh.
Until my allergies go crazy, and then that won't be so great. But my company is SusanRose.net. I help personal development coaches and holistic healers nurture relationships with their ideal clients through their content and content strategy. So I show them what to do, how to do it like the pros so that they are reaching more people.
We're glad you're here, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us. Hannah.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm Hanne Bøter from yourbrandvision.com, and I'm in Norway, and my windows are definitely not open. I'm a graphic designer and visual brand manager, and this means that I make all kinds of visual touch points with visual consistency, so your brand can be recognized. I help entrepreneurs find and visualize their unique greatness and attract their ideal clients. And I also love very much to teach graphic design and visual branding to entrepreneurs who has to be their own marketing directors and in-house designers.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We're glad you're here. Debbie Keevan in Fergus.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I've got him chewing on some bones, trying to find them, so he's a little occupied right now. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie Keevan of DeborahKeevan.com. I'm a writer, editor, and storyteller. I really help change-making entrepreneurs find their message and write a book that attracts their ideal client and serves them. So that's what my passion is. And it's words. I'm your girl. Have a great day from also overcast and warm Baltimore.
Enjoy the warmth, ladies, in the mid-Atlantic states. Yes. Connie Jo, you are next.
I'm Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions. I serve solopreneurs and coaches, is what I really like to do. Take their bookkeeping tasks off their to-do list. So that's it. I'm not quite here. I'm still half asleep. Oh, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had a terrific thunderstorm last night, and it's still raining.
Oh, I like thunderstorms. I live in Florida, so I'm in the right spot for that. Good morning,
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, early morning to Nancy. Good morning, Nancy, you're next.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Linneruth, and I'm in Seattle, where I have no idea what it's like outside. It's pitch black. I am a procrastination coach and an EFT or tapping specialist. And people come to me when they are finally tired of always making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And they know it's something inside of them. They just don't know how to change it. Yeah. WedUnblockResults.com.
Okay, there you go.
5 a.m.
You're doing good. You're doing much better than I would at 5 a.m. Mary Beth, good morning.
Good morning. Also in Overcast, but warm, Alexandria, Virginia, DC area. I am still communicating with animals telepathically, and I do things as diverse as yesterday. I talked to a family cat who has kidney disease, and they wanted to know if he's still on the, he wanted to stick around, and he says, "Yeah, I'm not ready to go yet," which was very heartening for them. And I did a medical scan so that they could go back to their home naturopath doctor, vet, and help. And tomorrow and today I get to tell a miniature donkey how to pass a test so he can start working with young adults who need to learn how who just have special disabilities, and this is going to be a donkey who helps others if he passes the test. So I do all kinds of stuff. Mary Beth Decker, sacredgrove.com, where people and pets heal and connect.
Only in virtual networkers does the word donkey appear. I love it. Good luck to the donkey. I hope he passes his little test. So cute. Susan Shelton. I got my Alexandria girls right next to each other.
Good morning, or should I say top of the morning for all people who share a little bit of Irish heritage this week.
True.
Susan Shelton, I'm a wellness consultant. I take my experience and my training as a low glycemic health coach. I combine that with 10 years of living in a gluten-free household. And I also combine that with my partnership with a science-based global nutrition company by the name of USANA Health Sciences. And I help people live a happier, healthier life. And your tidbit for today is, with all the people looking forward to drinking massive quantities of alcohol this week, isn't it strange that this is also Brain Health Awareness Week?
Mm-hmm.
It's my little tidbit for the day. So that's me. Yeah, and I'm from Washington, D.C. area, Alexandria, just down the street. Well, I'm kind of in between Susan and Mary Beth.
I love it. I love it. We'll have to do an on-spot virtual networkers one day up there. That would be fun. Well, thank you all so much for your introductions. I'm so glad that you are here. And now it's time for our speaker, and I have asked Hannah to do the introduction. Hannah, have you got the official intro?
Yes, I have. I'm very happy and honored to introduce my friend, Merit Torkelsson. She is one of the founder of the Hostmanship Group back in 2003. And today she runs the Norwegian and Danish branches of this Hostmanship Group. And they also have members in Sweden, Holland, Uganda, and Turkey. So she's a very experienced speaker and workshop facilitator, and she travels widely and with a very swift speed. I don't know where she is at any time in Norway and Denmark to teach the art of hostmanship, which can be used in organizations, workplaces, schools, and every other place where people interact in a common cause. She's originally from Sweden, but now she lives in Norway, and she has worked for many years in Denmark and Sweden for the Swedish Travel and Tourist Board. And she's also worked many years in the Swedish ski resort Åre, where she still can be found on occasions in the steep slopes or the cross-country tracks. So here we go, Merit.
Thank you, Hannah, and it's great to be invited to meet you all. Hannah is also my internal graphic designer, so I can really recommend Hannah. We've been working together for 5 years, 6 years, I think, or something like that. So thank you, Hannah. It's great to work with you. Well, as I said, I'm passionate about people, and especially about what is it that makes that some people that you meet long time ago, recently, for just a short period of time or for a longer relationship, some people that you meet already from the first almost second you meet them, they make an impact, and you kind of keep them here and you remember them. And then you are, probably you as me, we meet people in a lot of different settings, and next week we have almost forgotten about the encounter or the meeting, whatever it was. So that is one of the things that I'm curious, I would say, about. What are the different? What does it make? What is the special thing with those people and those leaders who have the capacity to create that culture in organization? So that's actually, I've been interested in this all my working life, whatever I've been doing, and then for the last 15 years within what we call this concept of hostmanship. But I would like to start so that we all get kind of present here and now with to read a few settings from our little philosophy. Imagine a world, a place, or an organization where colleagues, customers, patients, children, guests always feel expected, included, and welcome. A world where our encounters are characterized by respect, dignity, and a genuine consideration for each other. This is actually the world that I would like to be a little part to contribute to this, what we called a welcoming world. So we have a very, very big mission or a vision, and then what we then take it down to what we can help organizations with in creating this, what we call a welcoming culture. During my 15-20 minutes, I will also share a few slides. So Hannah has taught me how to do this. We'll see if it will work. Just a second, so that you see both me and the slides. Is it working? Now I don't hear you.
Yes, it's working.
It's working? Yeah, great. And you still hear me. Okay, good. So we are quite focused on this word welcome. And we have kind of turned it upside down, talked about it, thought about it, interviewed a lot of people about what is this? What's in this word? What does it mean to us? So I will come back to that. And all those experiences that we have, those could be a small meeting when actually someone really made a difference. As for me, as Hanne said, I'm traveling around a lot. Norway is it's not an easy accessible country in the world with a lot of fjords and mountains. So you had a lot of short and longer flight trips or trains or car distances with a car. And for example, I had a week, I stayed in 4 different hotels in 4 different locations that week, and ending the week in a very, very northern part of Norway. And then late in the afternoon, starting to traveling back. At that time, I lived in Stockholm, not in Oslo as now. So I think it was 4 different flights. And the last flight was from Oslo to Stockholm. And then the time was already about 11 p.m. in the evening. I would have to admit I was pretty exhausted, and also felt a bit sorry for myself when, okay, I'm still working and it's 11 p.m. in Friday night. It's not so much being together with your family then. So anyway, I arrived in Stockholm and thinking, okay, I take a taxi this last distance, because I was really feeling exhausted. And it was a long queue because almost everybody on this last flight that came into Stockholm for that night, they had the same idea to take the taxi. So standing there in line, and eventually it was my turn. And then the taxi driver comes out of that cab. In Stockholm and in Oslo, they hardly ever do that anymore. They stay in the taxi, but he comes out. He takes a long look at me, almost kind of like this, like some studying me from up and down, and then he says, "You look as if you have had a long day." And I was like, "Oh yes," because I felt it on all my body because he saw me. I wasn't just another passenger, probably the 100th or something for that day. He saw me. I really felt that he was focused on me. So I got into the taxi, kind of relaxed, and then he caught my eyes through the rear mirror in the cab, and he says, "Is there any special music that you want to listen to, or do you prefer the silence?" And I was just, wow. I mean, that feeling that there's someone who actually cares about who you are and in what conditions you are and what is important of you other than. And this is actually what the whole of our theme is about. To get people to reflect on how do we want to be perceived? What kind of impression do we want to leave in the people that we meet? Whatever situation it is, whether it's private or whether it has to do with your working life. So this is what we then call hostmanship. And I do know it's not a proper English word. It's a word that we actually have created, because in the 3 Scandinavian languages, there is a word called värdskap eller värdskap eller värdskap in the 3 different languages. And when we started working with this 15 years ago, and my co-founder, Jan, also wrote a book, the book Hostmanship, The Art of Making People Feel Welcome. And all of a sudden we wanted to translate it into English, and realizing, oh shit, there's no word for the värdskap in English. And we were so amazed, since English has so many more words than the Scandinavian languages have. So we were actually it can't be true that there isn't a word for it. So actually, this is a word that we have made up. And we tested it on a few British and American people, and they said, well, it's not a word, but we kind of get what you mean with it. So we said, okay, we go for it. And after that, actually, we now see the word is actually used more and more. And our Dutch partner, there are actually almost 20 people working in Holland with this concept. And there wasn't a word in Dutch either. So they have kept the English word and then translated the rest of the concept into Dutch. Well, anyway, so what is then hostmanship, and why we use that word? Well, it's built up, it's a host and ship or manship. It's craftsmanship or fishermanship. There are a lot of words in English that uses this manship or ship. And then, so that is the one who's actually creating something or being the host. So that is actually from where the word is coming. But what we then, with our concept, and I would like to during this time just tell you a little about the concept, what it is, a bit why, when it occurs, and a little bit in the end on how you can kind of work with it. But for us, it's very important to start with that it's not a technique. It's not something that we say that, okay, do these 10 things, then you would create a welcoming culture, or then you would be good at hostmanship. It's more like an invitation to a mindset and to what we call a practical philosophy. And practical due to the fact that it's based on our own experience from our work life, working with people and what makes organization works and stuff like that. We have also interviewed a number of people that we either think are very good at it themselves, or, as I said earlier, leaders who have had the focus and capacity to get out the potential in their people. So it's an invitation to this practical philosophy due to the fact that we have tried to put some thoughts together in a concept. And in Sweden and in the Norwegian language, we have what we call this as a pamphlet, the little philosophy. I don't have it in printed version right now in English, but I have the content in a PDF that I would love to share if you are interested. So we just then decide on how to share this little philosophy. But the book, the Hostmanship book, that's actually accessible on Amazon.com as a Kindle, as an ebook. So then you can reach it there if you're into it. It's not heavy theoretical book, it's an inspirational book. It's mainly stories of good meetings, because that is one of our foundation when we work, it's to bring out all the good stories, the good examples, because we are so often fed with all the bad stuff, with all the things that don't work in an organization, the bad meetings. And we said that if we focus on what actually works and try to spread all those good stories to make the good spiral. So we have a foundation in the positive psychology and appreciated inquiry. It's one of our foundations for the book that we do. So what we then do, what we are passionate about, as I said, is, okay, how can we create this welcoming culture? And what is welcoming culture? And as some leaders says that we work with is, well, a welcoming culture in an organization, it's actually an organization where people come first. When we have the focus on all of us who are working here and get the potential out in people, and then that kind of mirrors towards the guests or patients or customers or students or whatever, whoever we are meeting. So, and those leaders also, what we see is that working with hostmanship is actually quite effective. It's an effective way of getting people to be more aware of, okay, what can I contribute with in that encounter, whether I work front office or back office, in how can we create this. So it's good for the people and good for the business. So it's about creating value and perhaps mainly realizing the potential that's are in people, that people really are allowed to contribute, are allowed to speak up their ideas in how to develop. So it's not a top-down organization. So it's very much creating this culture more round or a flat structure. So this is a bit of why. In Scandinavia and in Holland, I would say that very, very many organizations have this focus today on how can we, it's not so much of what the products or the services, it's more the added value that comes in the relational part. Building strong relations with your customers or with your talents, and then and building those strong relations is actually quite a lot of emotional. And that we haven't had so much focus on beforehand, because we are very rational, especially we Scandinavians, we are so rational. But here it's much to train ourselves that, okay, but what was that experience? And experiences are always emotional. They are not rational. But in work life, we have so much focus up here and tend to forget that what's really important for our people is actually down here. So that was very short about this welcoming culture. And one of the aspects in our little philosophy is actually that we have tried to make a definition or a meaning of this word and hostmanship. And our definition of hostmanship is that it is the art of making people feel welcome. And it is an art, all those interactions we have in all those different settings with all those different people. Some are really demanding, or some are cultural differences, language differences. Sometimes like perhaps I'm not even satisfied with whatever we are delivering. So it's really an art, and within this art, it relates to art. Then you can relate to as you are kind of an artist, to bring out that creativity in you, that curiosity. In this art is to really have the focus on who is it that I'm actually meeting right now, and what is the important stuff or the needs that person have in this situation. So that curiosity and that focus is for me part of this art. It's about of making. Hostmanship, it's very much to be proactive, to be a step ahead, to not just waiting for someone perhaps to ask you something, but okay, you can see, you can imagine, okay, by your experience or whatever, okay, how can I be a bit ahead? Like for example, a person who is helpful, and I think most of us, we just love people who are helpful and helping others, but what we are then here are talking about is the difference when someone is helpful when you ask for something, and then there's amazing people who are helpful before you ask for something, who are really okay, and then you feel, how come that he or she actually understood that was my need right now. So that is the of making. It's all about people. I think today in our society, we have sometimes forgotten that it's actually human beings. We are human beings, and we are much more alike. And actually, the stuff that is dividing us, and I think it's just so sad in the society. And the last example is the dreadful thing in New Zealand yesterday, like this dividing, instead of seeing that we have so much in common, and then be curious about, okay, the things that perhaps separate us, to try to lift it up on a higher level, so that we see we probably have some good intention, all of us in the end, but to see that. And this with people goes both ways. So it's both that I want to meet an individual, not just someone who has a title or a job description, that he's a doctor or a teacher or a receptionist or someone who works in a store, but to actually meet the person behind that job description. And on the other hand, I want to be seen as a human being, as my little taxi examples, that he saw me, not just a passenger more. So that is the both ways of this with the word people. As I said, it's about how we feel, the emotional part, what sticks with us. And I mean, in the healthcare industry, for example, mainly in Scandinavia, where I have my most experience, is that, okay, we have been so good at the medical, technical part of healthcare. And then when they do research of how we perceive or how we experience all the encounters with the healthcare system, they say, okay, we are very satisfied with the medical treatment, but there's still a lot to do. Whether I feel that I'm actually, that someone sees me, that I feel seen, that someone actually listens to me, that they are interested a bit more about my history. And the research now say that to treat people, it's one thing with the medical stuff. You shorten the, what do you call it, the number of days until you are healthy again. Sorry, I forgot the English word. When people feel that they are also seen, valued, all those more human part of the system. So that is for me like of the feeling part. And then the last word of welcome. And it's the word that we use much more today. You can hardly phone any big company or local government without they say welcome to whatever, or websites where welcome, when we meet, welcome. You can buy a doormat when it says welcome. So the words is used more and more. And for us, it's then to get people to say the importance that we really mean it. So it's not only word we use, but that we really, really mean. For hostmanship, for me, it's both the concept, the intention, what we want, but it's only really effective or interesting when actually it shows in actions, in what we say and what we do, and how and what do we do then to create this feeling of welcoming. And when we ask people, it's very much about being seen, being expected, feeling valuable, and being of kind of importance. So that is the things that we put in our little centers of the art of making people feel welcome. So I think there are many great sayings. I took this one now, since here with Americans, I said people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think it's an expression that is perhaps even more of importance today than perhaps it has been for some years. So that was a bit what hostmanship is about, according to us. And then we also have thought quite a lot about, well, for whom is this important? And we realize more and more that actually hostmanship occurs on 3 different arenas, you can say. The first, and the thing that perhaps most of us think about spontaneously, is the thought about welcoming others. But as important, I would say, is the scene that welcoming each other. And since for me, or for us, this is not, as I said, a technique, but more a state of mind, or this little philosophy, it all starts, and perhaps the most important person you have to welcome is actually oneself. So yes, and when we talk about this with welcoming others, then we talk about to make them feel welcome as guests. That doesn't mean that we have to rename customer or clients or inhabitants or students or whatever. It's more use the words that it's relevant in your business, but to have them feel as welcoming guests, even if it's a patient or whatever. And this could be, for some people that we meet, this could be a bit of a challenge, because, well, guests. No, well, you know, in my line of field, I'm a technician, or I work in a local government doing in environmental inspections or whatever. This has nothing to do with my work. And then to get them to start to have the dialogue and reflection, I was like, okay, but you can choose you're still going to do your line of field. So it's not what you do, but in what way you do it. In what way do you meet? And then people can relate to this. Well, and as I say that in hostmanship, there's a guest and there's a host. And if you see the person that you meet, whoever that is, as a guest in the meeting with you, I think it's easier to find the host within yourself. And it's amazing to see when people start to talk about this and reflect from their everyday, what they come up with great ideas and ways in how when they kind of see this personal perspective, or the human perspective in all those meetings that they are, what they actually can do things a bit differently. And as we say, this is a choice. You choose whether to be just very, what we call professional, and it's very important to be professional, but you can also choose to adding to your professionalism, the human aspect of it. I don't have much time, so this is a short version of our concept. The other scene, as I said, was the welcoming each others. And then so much with this welcoming culture. How do we greet and treat each other in a working environment or in a local place? I work quite a lot with destination places and local governments and stuff like that. And as welcoming colleagues is kind of also, you can say, or we use word like hosting talents, both to be an attractive organization for talents, and then how you actually develop the talent while hosting this talent, so that people can, as I said earlier, contribute, take part in, and very much towards the purpose of whatever that is for an organization. So, and this is just a small little example of what can happen when people start, okay, what is a welcoming culture for us? And then all of a sudden, one of the larger organizations I work with, all of a sudden, on all those small notes, it's the word welcome in all the different languages that someone at that workplace has as their mother tongue. And also, and they say when they started it, well, it makes something with the bit proud that we are part to building this fellowship, that we work together, that no one is stronger on themselves, but it's so much more. I could talk forever about this. I shan't do that now. I'll give you a little quote of what a nurse, you say nursing help, came up to me after a two-hour lecture, and she had written this down in Sweden that I translated. Well, you know, when I feel that I'm valuable, I dare to be a host. And hostmanship is actually quite a lot to do with courage. The courage to actually go outside the routines and outside the strict things what is done, to actually be in the moment. And I think that the better prepared we are in an organization, different department, the better prepared. And then it's also easier to be in the present, to realize, okay, right now, I can go a bit outside here. We can do it because this person I meet now. But then you have to feel valuable for that, or that it's okay. So we talk about a lot, we have special programs for leaders, like, okay, lead as a host, because the leader is important of creating this culture. And then for me, it doesn't really matter whether it's a customer, a coworker, your neighbor. For me, this is a concept, or this philosophy is about how do we see each other as human beings, whatever, as I started. So in organization, we talk so much of being the importance of being professional. But I would like to make a kind of a stand for to be more of an amateur. The word amateur comes from Latin and French and Italian, and it's, when it's translated those words, is someone who is doing something with his heart, or you're doing it with love, then you're an amateur. But it's, at least in the Scandinavian language, that's not the way we normally use an amateur. There's something like, okay, he's not so good at it, or he's only an amateur. So I had participants here in Younger, here in Norway, that's created that, because at that time I took quite a lot of what is the foundation about being professional, and then what we are talking about is the add-on. And then she said, I saw she was kind of, so you mean with that we should be professional amateurs? She said, yes. I couldn't have said it better myself, because it is when all the rational things, the things we've learned, the knowledge we have, what we studied, the experience, all that we have up here, that works together with that we have an authentic interest in the person we actually meet. Then there'll be the wow meetings, but those two parts play together. So professional amateurs, that's really something that I really love. So, and then I shouldn't say the last scene, because it actually starts here with a welcoming oneself. And what we put in here is actually welcoming yourself as the person that you are. that you are good as you are. And everybody has something to contribute with. Also make people to perhaps be a bit kinder to themselves, because quite a lot of us are pretty hard on ourselves. We are perhaps much better at welcoming others than welcoming ourselves. So to start to be people out, okay, in what way do I want to be perceived? What is also important to me? What do I have to be aware of to be the Marit I want to be? Like sleep, stress, reducing, physics, all those different things that we kind of build up like a wall around us, so that we don't really show ourselves any longer. So that are part of what we put in this with welcoming yourself, train people to be more reflective about it, and train people to be clear about what's important for them actually, because we only have one life, as far as I know, until now anyway. So to do the best of it. We have a saying, am I on the right bus? Am I doing things? Am I using my potential and my passion in the best way? That is also of importance to me. So those were the three C's, and I think that hostmanship comes when there's a generosity. We have a fabulous Norwegian word. We don't have it in Swedish, and it's not translatable to English either. It's called raus. It's a kind of generosity, but it's the kind of generosity that has nothing to do with how much money you give away or anything like that. It's the generosity with yourself. Are you an open, inclusive person that has the genuine interests in seeing someone else and being of service to someone else? And I think that the source for generosity is gratitude. And therefore the welcoming oneself is so extra important as well. Because if you don't appreciate your, whether it's skills, your experience, the things you've gotten wrong or the things you have been successful with, if you don't acknowledge them and appreciate them yourself, it's pretty little chance that you will share it with someone else. And whole this concept is actually very much about sharing. This open, inclusive, and that we share things with each other. So therefore, those three scenes, they are so interconnected. And it starts with yourself and the culture in your organization or in that place where you live. And then we can also include others for this. So a way of explain this is also that if you take this guest and the host, and then that's this space in between, to actually in every encounter that you are a part of, try to be as open as possible. Because we have it's so easy for us to, if I met one of you beforehand and you say something to me or you do something that, okay, I say Jude here now, you said something, okay, Jude, you're like that. And we put labels. We put labels so easily. But at every new meeting, every new encounter is actually a new meeting. To be open. So a few of the things that we then talk more about is to be this open, curious, not judgmental. Also to be humble, because that we don't know, I don't have all the answers, but somewhere here and in together we probably can find it out. It's about being trustworthy, because you can't get people to grow if they feel they are not secure and safe in the environment. So building a trustworthy that people there, and to respect, of course, and to be present. And that is a challenge for me sometimes, because I always have a tendency to be a bit ahead, or I'm stuck in something that's happened before. But to actually to to take care of all those meetings, you have to be present to acknowledge what's actually is happening. So those are a few, and then that were a bit about what we put into it, and we all quite often get the question, well, how do you notice that this hostmanship that you talk so much about is actually present in a place? The easiest way to find out, I would say, is to kind of look people in the eyes who is working there. If you meet us, there's actually are some twinkle and glittering in their eyes. You feel that they feel meaning, pride and joy and gratitude. Oh, I haven't translated the last word, and valuable in whatever. So this is actually what you kind of can see and can feel when you come to organization. And I'm sure that you have a lot of own experiences of both good meetings and also those when we perhaps have felt the opposite of a welcoming culture. So when we then work with this, I'm not going to go through all of this. It's just so we work with what we call 10 keys to create a welcoming culture. Sometimes just we go through all of them and help or coach organizations, because it had to be one part is really to start to define how do we want to be perceived? What are our vision, the big purpose for our organization, or what are our values? And the culture is actually like, it's how do our vision and values come into life? How do we act or to make those come alive? So to the end, because we also quite often go, well, isn't just hostmanship a new word for service? And they are connected, definitely, but a bit difference for us is that service is something you give, and hostmanship is something you are. And it's very much, it has to come from the heart. It's very much to be the authentic self that you are from me, that you want to share this with others. So this was more than 20 minutes. I'm sorry for that. A short introduction to our little concept of what we put in a welcoming culture, or what we call this hostmanship. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Marie. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. And lots to think about. And certainly as entrepreneurs, most of us are solopreneurs. We own our own business all by ourselves. But I know I took notes as thinking about my own programs and even as virtual networkers about how to make these online experiences. Yeah, a lot of notes I saw about how to make these online experiences in welcoming, because a lot of us run things virtually, and that certainly it can be done for sure, and I really appreciate it. Does anybody have any quick questions or comments for Marie?
What's welcoming for you?
Yes, what's welcoming?
Can you please share or thoughts, please?
Yes. But how do you feel? How do you know you feel welcome? Nancy, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, Marit, I loved the way that you ended about that. Service. I've learned a lot about how you want to go and be helpful in as networking. It's just part of what you do, but the way you made it know that it is who you are, that I think pulls a lot into that raises it much higher than just service. Service is important, but being
it's important, definitely. I totally agree.
I love that way of looking at it. Thank you.
That was gorgeous. Thank you. Cassandra, did you have your hand up? Go ahead.
And, for me too, it's like feeling important. What is welcoming when I make someone feel important when I meet them, or when someone makes me feel important, and I'm like, oh, you're just another number on the bus, So yes, thank you for the beautiful lesson. It was great. Lots to think about is right.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Judy Kane wrote in the chat box, great concept, lots to reflect on. Agreed. I think a lot of us could journal about this even, thinking about our own experiences with our businesses? How are we welcoming our clients into our programs? How do we welcome sales prospects into that process? How to welcome our email subscribers when they first hit our email list? We also worry about a funnel, but it's really about the welcome more so than the mechanics of a funnel, right? Those are just things I think we all can permeate or think about, ruminate over. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it's, if you talk organizational language, it's both our kind of customer journey, but it's also the journey. If we have someone employed or something, okay, what are those journeys in all the different interactions that we have? And I perhaps is even more today focused on what kind of society. How can we bring this much more into the society? I mean, already school children, what is this culture and how can we work with it in schools, youth, anti-bullying, all different aspects. So there are a lot of arenas that all of us can contribute in different way, I think, to a more human society where we care a bit. Because my deepest fundament is that everyone has the right to be met with respect, dignity, and care. And that is actually the short version of what hostmanship is.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for those words. We're going to go around the room and do announcements, and often what happens, Marie, is people will add more comments. So be ready. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to now do quick announcements. Anything you'd like to share, everybody can do this. Any promotional things you want to share, products you're selling, shout outs, referral asks, be sure to use the chat box for any links to drop in there. And I'm going to start us down at the bottom corner of my Brady Bunch, which is Connie Jo Miller.
Mine's short. I have a new package available for people who aren't ready to take on a bookkeeper, but want help getting set up and getting started the right way, getting their financial stuff in order. So I have a startup package now for solopreneurs and people who are just getting started. Oh, anybody knows anybody like that? I'd love a referral.
Absolutely. If you have a link, be sure to drop it in. Congratulations on the package too, Connie Jo. Susan Shelton, you're next.
Nothing to share today. I'm working on a shareable for you all, but I just wanted to thank Marie. This was a fabulous presentation. It resonated well with me. It is something that I strive for myself, and just taking lots of notes because we can always get better at what we do. So thank you so much for your.
Thank you, Susan. That was so right. So right. Debbie Keevan.
Thank you so much. It was, it's really heartwarming to know that regardless of where we live in the world, there's this connection and we can make each other feel welcome. And it was a beautiful reminder of what we can be in the world and how we can be more connected. And I'm so grateful that you were here today. So thank you. I am hosting a webinar on March 26th at 1 p.m. I'll put a link here. And it's for, it's all about finding the book in your business. And that's what I'm going to be teaching about. So I'd love to have you join me, or if you know of anybody who is interested in writing a book, please invite them as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie. Mary Beth, you're next.
Marie, I got to tell you, this is so perfect for me. Thank you so much. I am doing, when I do work with people and their animals, one of the things that I've struggled with is how to make a good connection. You know, I've got 25 minutes or 50 minutes to, and people are nervous, and I didn't realize that in the beginning. And what you're talking about is exactly who I need to be to get through that. And the other thing that I love is one of the principles that I've been taught in animal communication is when you just get the essence of the animal, of who they are, and love them for that, it is healing. And this is true for the human animal as well, isn't it? I mean,
Yes,
you know.
definitely.
Oh my goodness. So thank you so much. I've taken notes, and I will work much more consciously to do that with people in my lives, including my husband.
Don't forget our family, right?
Yeah, hopefully for family. I would love, if you know anybody, I'm working on medical intuition. I'm in a program, a one-on-one with my mentor. And so if anybody has animals with physical issues and would like to get another point of view about how the animal is feeling, that would be a good referral for me. Thank you.
And thank you.
Thanks again, Marie.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Nancy, then Hannah.
Thank you again, Marit. That was really impactful. Wish there were a better word for it. I don't have a share so much as a request. I've started to meet some of you one-on-one outside of this group, and I'd love to continue that process. It's so helpful to know who people are, and as always, I am giving away a tapping session to anyone who wants to try it out, but it doesn't have to be that if you're like, oh, please don't make me hit myself. A virtual coffee would be lovely. I just want to get to know everyone. So I'm Nancy at unblockresults.com, and shoot me an email.
Awesome. Nancy, thank you so much for the free sessions to everybody too. That's really cool. Hannah, then Susan Rose.
No announcements. Just want to congratulate Merit on her presentation. It was great, as usual. So thank you so much.
I mean, then we have to say, Hannah, I'm going to co-host with Hannah when she is presenting her book live in Norway in a few weeks. Then you have to share, Hannah. We're going to host it together in the location where I have my office, and Hannah's going to launch her book in Norway.
Yay! We are all fans of brand boxes. In fact, most of us have a copy that we can grab.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. See? I love it. Susan Rose, you're next. Then it'll be Sharon.
Yeah, I also just want to jump on the thank you bandwagon. That was really great, and it's given me a lot to think about. I actually don't have an ask today, but I'm going to process all those notes I took because there's so much to use. As you know, I teach my clients how to do this kind of thing via their marketing communications and what they're writing. And the concepts are very much the same. There's ways to do it, not just in person, but offline also. So really great stuff there. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan Rose. Sharon Edwards, then Judy Kane.
Love the presentation. Loved it. What I live by is my motto is life is a donation. So I got a lot out of your presentation today. Announcements. If you know anyone in the United States of America that wants to save money on their toner ink cartridges, and when they do that, they're not just feeding their printer with toner ink, they're feeding local homeless human beings at the same time. Send them my way. Love to help them.
Thank you, Sharon. Judy Kane, and then Cassandra.
Okay, so yes, and I do use Sharon's ink, and it's great ink. Everybody should use it if you're not already. I've only got shout outs today. Cassandra is getting ready to work some magic on me. She's done it before. She's going to do some more. Starting up with the UConnect Nurture with Mary Beth. Finishing up with a boot camp with Susan. I always appreciate Debbie's creative suggestions. And I can't wait to read Hannah's book.
I love it.
And great presentation. Thank you.
That's awesome. Cassandra, you're up.
Yes, again, thank you for your beautiful presentation. And I as well just want to get to know all of you so much, so some virtual coffee if you don't want a energetic facelift or any other, energy healing for body, mind, and spirit. But I just have all kinds of shout outs too. I mean, this group is awesome. I am still having, amazing changes from what I did with Judy months ago. I mean, Mary Beth, you know, says totally, I mean, again, just 2 sessions with my cat, and she's a different cat. And, you know, doing this You Connect with her is the funnest and coolest thing. I'm getting to meet Nancy. I'm so excited. Hopefully, Deborah Keevan. Yay. I mean, it's just amazing. I can't even tell you, you know, I'm just telling everyone about this group and sending it out and saying, you know, if you have any seats and do fun things, you know, join this amazing, fun little family here. It's just so
Thank you,
cool.
I appreciate
Love you
that.
guys. It's so cool.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Oh, my heart's warm. Marie, any announcements? Anything you'd like to share?
No, I said thank you for your great feedback. I love it. And my announcement is then if you want, I would love to email you the philosophy as a PDF present if you want it. So please, as I forgot to say that it's not rocket science we found out. It's more that we have put some thoughts that we are passionate about and that we really feel that is resonating with people today to get the human aspect. So, and if you have some ideas on how can we start up in the US, that would be great. We don't have what to do right now, but we all have all the materials in English, but we'll see. Soon or later we will come there. So thank you.
And Marit's email address is in the chat box, so of course everybody will make sure everybody will have that. And then I will finish up with just a quick. I promise to be quick. From the Jill Celeste side of things, I'm hosting a Facebook Live on Tuesday at noon Eastern. It is going to be a class called The Spiritual Entrepreneur. If you're a law of attraction person, spiritual person who wants to learn how to incorporate that into your marketing, I would love for you to attend. I put a link to the event page in the chat box. You're welcome to attend live or catch the replay later. Transparency notice, I will be offering a class after the live so that you can continue that conversation if it speaks to you. My second, what are you waving at me for, Nancy?
I'm sorry, but I can't find Merit's link in the chat box. So
it's in there. It'll be in your PDF when I send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But if you want, Marie, put it in there again. Just to be sure everybody sees it. And then the second thing, do we have a speaker next week, ladies? It was supposed to be Tove, and I'm probably butchering that, Hannah, and then she couldn't do it.
Tove was supposed to speak on the 29th, and she was cancelled. So I will have to speak with Debbie about that.
I think we do have somebody. I think it's Kate Varness, but I will double check.
And I said the wrong one. Next week's our meeting.
That's what I was wondering, because I thought that was the one we were.
There are too many damn Fridays in March. I don't know what y'all. So I apologize. I said the wrong word. Next week's our meeting. Please come. It's the 29th that I have a question mark on. So
I think it's Kate, but I'll double check. We definitely filled the slot.
Okay, if not, we could do virtual coffee dates. So if it's not filled, that's really what I was after.
It's definitely filled.
So next week, for those of you who are members, and Susan Rose, please come as well. We're having an all-member meeting, circling the wagons to talk about speaking and all of that. We'd love to have you as well. And Marie put her email address in there, ladies, so you can snag it up. So I see, I did that. So next week comes the meeting. Following week, maybe we'll have Kate and her new book. Ooh, that'll be good. Exciting. And then one more thing. Friday, April 19th, will be no meeting. It is Good Friday. It is almost Passover, and it's my birthday. And I love y'all, but I'm not getting up to do a meeting.
Jill?
Yes.
I just corrected Merit's email because she had written it wrong.
Yeah, I've done it myself as well.
So it's a one from me. It was spelled wrong the first time. Yes.
All right, so we're looking at Marit's email, and I won't butcher that Norwegian after that, but there it is, and we'll go so you can get in touch with her for that.
What was the date again, Jill, for no meeting?
Next Friday.
No, for the no meeting.
April 19th.
I think it's the next one. Sorry, our meeting. April 19th. Good Friday.
Hey.
Jill's birthday.
All right. I'll check and make sure we didn't have a speaker.
Yeah, yeah. If not, we'll put him somewhere else.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But I think I had designated that as a no day. But let me know if there's anything I need to do. On that note, I hope everybody has a fantastic Friday and a great weekend. It was lovely to see you. I'll see you next Friday for our member meeting.
Thanks for letting me
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.